Tune in, turn on, Steve, now with The Independent. It looks like the Jefferson Airplane were right about feeding your head.
Yes, psychedelic drugs can unlock the brain's ability to learn new skills, which means that taking that evening class is going to get messy. So they've looked at it and they've tried to look at this time period when the brain can learn again. They don't actually mention neuroplasticity in this, but I think it must be linked to this.
Yeah.
The idea that when your brain is young, it can just absorb information, especially languages. You get older, it stops. But if you do some of these drugs, these psychedelic drugs, for quite a considerable amount, it's not just minutes. For days and weeks, you can still have
Afterwards,
the ability.
yeah. Because the actual, not that I'm an expert, of course, but the length of the trip varies wildly as well. If you do MDMA, which I think is mentioned in there, that's usually 3 or 4 hours. Whereas there are some, I mean, if you take mescaline, that can be, you know, which is what Aldous Huxley did in The Doors of Perception, that can be 48 hours before you're quite right again.
Yeah.
I don't know whether these are...
Well, I think we also should add the context that this was done on mice.
Right.
And the mice learned
With human brains, though, right?
Yeah, attached to their backs.
Like the human lungs in the albino mice.
Yeah, they make them have the quality of human lungs. And none of these mice learn to speak a language.
No,
so that's worth bearing in mind.
It is interesting, because I don't know what neuroplasticity obviously is a sort of metaphor. It doesn't literally mean that it becomes sort of more pliable.
No.
I think vascularity is supposed to be an important part of it, right? How open the blood channels are in the brain. And this has a significant effect on IQ, in fact, apparently. Like the smooth flowing of blood through your brain is actually as much a part of, you know, getting the oxygen. I don't know. It depends what exactly is opened up.
I wish they'd told us this earlier, like about 30 years ago.
Yeah,
not
2 hours earlier.
I felt guilty for taking LSD just before my finals.
It's too late to learn just before the exam.
Yeah.
You should have been doing LSD
stop
earlier.
Cramming up there.